Welcome back to class. Today we have another beginner Wunda Chair series. This is going to take inspo from the first beginner chair class that I made for this channel, and we're going to play with a couple of variations to keep it fun and fresh. Let's start with our pumping. You're going to come sit on your chair. The closer you are to the front edge, the more challenging this is for the posture and the hip flexors. So just find whatever distance works for you. You're going to bring your arms long down by your side and press your palms gently into the sides of the chair. Keep your heels together, toes apart on your pedal, and your heels are slightly lifted. Now let's check in with the spine. We want the ring of the hips, ring of the ribs, and ring of the crown of the head to line up as concentric circles. We want to maintain that lift and infinite length to the ceiling as we press the pedal halfway down. Take a pause for a moment and just work this shape. Stay nice and long, pull your waist in and up underneath your rib cage and keep your collarbones nice and wide. Now take your time as you slowly bring the pedal back up. Feel your thigh bones slide back into your center as you take the crown of the head longer to the ceiling. Let's take that again. Press halfway down, find a pause at the bottom, and then slowly bring it all the way back up. Keep your heels at the same height. It's easy to kind of lower and lift them as we move the knees, but we want to just keep those feet nice and still. This is going to work a little external rotation in our hips, so we get a little bit more of a BOGO deal for this exercise. Let's go 3 more times, moving nice and slow, which is a challenge on its own. In Pilates, slower is harder. It's that Pilates magic. Press down, grow taller, and resist, bring it all the way back up. Now let's play with a little bit more. Bring the pedal halfway down until your thighs are about parallel to the floor. You can keep your hands here or you can bring them to the top of your thighs. Your thighs won't move. Flex your feet now and point your feet. So now we're isolating that ankle joint. Flex and point. Keep working the lift of your posture. Let's try 3 more times. So we're really feeling that slide of the ankle joint. Last time. Point back to your start position. Close your springs. All right, so the ankles are warm now. One final thing here, we're going to play with a little hover off of the pedal. Press the pedal halfway down. Without moving the pedal, lift your right foot up off the pedal and hold, and then lower down, bring the heels back together, and then switch. Lift that left leg up. Keep feeling that sliding of the thigh bone back, and then lower down. Let's switch, and lower, and switch, and lower. 2 more times. Check in with those abdominals. Last time. Lower back, close your springs. Take a moment, shake it out, breathe. We move to our arches. You're going to zip your legs together as if they're one leg. Bring the center of the foot onto the pedal and find a little hook of your feet over that black portion of your pedal. From here, we press the pedal halfway down, same thing, and bring it all the way back up. We want to keep the legs glued together. And I want you to think that the legs come together from the inner thighs, not from mashing the knees together or pressing the ankles together. Feel that pull in and up of your inner thighs right up into your powerhouse. Even though we're working legs a little bit here, we're still working the stability and the strength in our powerhouse. So thinking closer to that center line, closer into our cord. 2 more times. This last time, press down halfway, hold. Now from here, we play with that same hover. Lift that right leg up, try not to move the pedal, and lower down, switch. And lower down, switch. Think long spine. Space between the ribs and the hips. Space between the shoulders and the ears. All that length is going to stabilize you in the center, and that's going to allow your legs to move more freely. 2 more times. Last time. Slowly close your springs. All right, let's move to the heels. The legs stay zipped together, but the center of the heel comes to the pedal. Arms are still down by our sides here. Flex your feet and think about flexing more at the ankle joint, just like what we did when we were on the toes. So it's easy to kind of really pull the toes back here and just work a really extreme position in the 10 toes. I want you to keep the toes soft and really work that flex at your ankle joint. So from here, let's rock and roll for our heels. Press the pedal halfway down and lift it back up. And I want you to think, yes, we're going down and up, but how about pulling the pedal in towards you? So there's kind of a slide of the thigh bones out and in, just like the slide of the ankle joint when we flexed and pointed. Feel how that turns on the back of your leg a little bit more and how it stabilizes you. Pilates magic. Let's go 2 more times. Last time. Now we press the pedal halfway down, we play with those hovers. Take that right heel off and lower it down. And switch. And lower. Feel light on your chair. Feel like you're buoyant, so much so that you're gonna fly off the seat. We never want to feel like we're bearing down. For 2. Last time. Slowly lift up. Let's flush the legs out a little bit. We're going to take a wider stance. This will feel good after all that hugging into center. You're going to take your feet as wide as you can on your pedal, and you're going to find a little bit of external rotation. So knees still track over toes, but we're going to go slightly turned out. Hands are going to stay down by your side. We're just going to take 5 pumps in this wider position. You might feel a stretch in the inner thighs, an opening of the pelvis. Can just feel really nice and opening. Last time. Now from here, we'll add a little twist, literally. Bring your hands to stack, one on top of the other behind your head. Close the front of the ribs. We don't want to splay the chest here. Still imagine that you're being pulled long up that line and feeling those concentric circles still being concentric. As you press the pedal halfway down, twist your rib cage to the right. Take a gaze down at your legs and see if one leg looks a little longer than the other. If so, pull that hip back and work the twist from your ribs. Come back through center. Everything comes back at the same time. A little coordination. Let's twist to the left. Grow taller. Feel lifted off of your seat and come back through center. And let's move a little quicker. Grow taller and twist and center. Keep the back of the neck long and center. Add an exhale as you twist. And inhale, come back through center. And twist. Don't forget to breathe. 2 more times. And center. Last time. And center. Lower your arms down. Take one foot off your pedal, bring the other one to meet it, and just rock a little bit side to side. We're going to take a little pull-up prep here. So we're going to stay on one top, one bottom. I'm just going to make a quick camera change, and I'll meet you there. All right, so today we're going to work our pull-up prep. Pull-up is an iconic chair exercise. It's pretty advanced. It requires a lot of shoulder strength and a lot of core strength. So we're going to work the prep, and then in future versions of this video, we'll slowly build in until we're working our full pull-up. But to start with the prep, it's harder than it looks. We're going to practice mounting. You're going to take your hands, bring them to the sides of your chair. Thumbs will stay with your fingers. Make sure that your feet aren't on the wooden platform because we will press the pedal down and you don't want to take your toes off. Take one foot, press your pedal all the way down to the floor, and then bring your other foot to meet it. We're going to return to that heels together, toes apart position with the heels elevated. Now from here, I want you to think C curve shape, your capital letter C. Lift your waist to the ceiling and feel a big scoop through the center of your body. I want you to feel so much scoop that your hip bones almost feel like they're going to drive to the front edge of this chair. So feeling a lot of big lift from that center body. The shoulders are fairly open here, so I'm not really giving in and pressing the shoulder blades away. They're pretty wide, and the roundness of my spine is coming from the scoop of my abdominals. Pilates magic. We're going to maintain this scoop as you lower the heels and get a little extension in the back of the legs. Even here, I'm scooping my pelvis forward. I feel a big scoop through my center. And then slowly lift your abdominals more to bring the legs up. Lower your heels, lift your waist. And lift your waist, lift your heels. So we want to think about working this position and working the mobility of this exercise from the lift of our abdominals. Once your back starts to flatten out, you lose a lot of space to move into. And that's what we really want with our pull-up. We're creating space to move into. Let's try 2 more times. And lift. Last time. Lift up and hold. Let's play with creating more space. Keeping that scoop of the abdominals, take your right leg and bend it into your chest. Single leg stretch. It's like a single leg pull-up. Now from here, can you scoop your abdominals out more and pull that thigh in closer to your chest? Maintain that lift as you lower the leg back down. And then switch to the other leg. Pull the abdominals up and away to create space for your leg to move into. And then bring it back in. Let's switch 4 more times. Keep your gaze down. And keep it towards that front edge of the chair. It's a nice stable spotting point. And lower down. 2 more times. Keep checking in with those shoulders. Keep them away from the ears. And lower down. Last time. And lower down. Now you can take a flat back and bend one knee then the other. Stretch out the back of the legs a little bit. Pull-up is so much fun, but I really like working the prep positions, and it's really important, the more that you advance in your Pilates practice, to return more frequently to those fundamentals. They actually become harder the more advanced you get. We love Pilates, always offering a challenge. All right, from here, let's dismount our chair. You're gonna take one foot down to the floor, keeping that pedal closed with the other foot. Now from here, bend that pedal leg, slowly close your spring, and then slowly come to stand off your chair. We're gonna make a spring adjustment. I'm gonna come to one middle spring, and we're gonna do some single leg presses with an added challenge. We've made our spring change. In our previous beginner Wunda Chair class video, we did a single leg press with a bent leg. Today we're gonna work a straight leg press. So it's gonna be a slightly different setup. You're gonna take some distance between yourself and the chair. We wanna be able to bring our right leg on, and we want the leg to be straight. So literally your leg's length away. The leg will be an external rotation. So let's play with this a little bit. I want you to just bring that right arch onto your pedal, and your knee is gonna point up to the ceiling. Bring your hands to your hips and feel the squareness of your hips match the front corners of your chair. Feel nice and long and lifted. And then from here, let's play with our external and internal rotation. I want you to squeeze that right glute, wrap your inner thigh up towards the ceiling, and turn the leg out. And then bring it back to that start position. Imagine the top of your thigh bone is a doorknob, and you're turning it open and close. We want this rotation to come right at the top of the hip, not at the knee, not at the ankle. Once again, working close to our powerhouse, higher up into our center. Let's go 2 more times. This last time, turn out and hold. So we work this position in our external rotation. Press out of your standing leg, keeping the hips as square as possible. Press the pedal down a little bit. It's less about how far it goes and more about working the inner thighs and working the strong posture. and then resist, bring it all the way back up. As you press down, can you feel yourself almost slide the pedal back towards you? You're going to feel those inner thighs scissor past each other and engage. And then resist, bring it back up. Let's take that 3 more times. Pull it in and lift. 2 more times. And lift. Last time. And lift up, hold. Now from here, let's play with the little lift of the leg up towards the ceiling. Pull the thigh bone back into your center as you float the leg away from the pedal and lower it back down. And lift. Hold your balance and lower down. 3 more times. 2 more times. Woo! Last time. From here, slowly bring that leg off the pedal, shake it out, and we go straight to the other side. So the left leg lengthens long onto the top of the pedal. We bring the center of the foot on, knee points up to the ceiling. We work that internal, external rotation. Wrap the inner thigh, turn the leg out, and bring it back in. Can the leg get longer as you turn it out? And bring it back in. 3 more times. And one side might feel very different than the other. That's totally fine. We're not symmetrical beings. Although that'd be wildly convenient. This last time, wrap open and hold in your external rotation. We do 5 presses. You pull the pedal in towards you, grow taller, and then resist, bring it back. Pull the pedal in, feel that hug towards center and that oppositional lengthening to the ceiling, and bring it back up. 3 more times. And resist, lift. 2 more times. And lift. Last time. Lift up and hold. Now we play with those lifts. Float the leg up and lower it down. Feel light away from the floor. Just like we did in pumping, feel light off your seat, feel light off the floor. 2 more times. Last time. Lower the leg down, shake it out. We're going to take a side lying position next on our chair for a fun little series. So let's meet there. Let's do a quick adjustment. All right, I'm still on one middle spring. We're going to take a side plank position on our chair. You're going to sit off to one side, take one hand to your pedal, and press it all the way down to the floor. You know you're in the right spot when your shoulder is directly over your wrist and you're able to stack your hips one on top of the other. This is a hard position to hold. So if you need, bring this hand in front of you and hold. I want you to actively lift the legs up so that they're not just hanging down. We want to feel nice and lifted. Once again, that buoyancy away from the floor, away from the chair. And check in with those ribs. Close the front of the ribs, feel a lift away from the floor. Flex your feet and feel a lot of energy through your heels. Now from here, we're just going to work on holding this position. I want you to stay balanced on your hips so that they're stacked one on top of the other and you're nice and square. Keep actively pressing the floor away and breathe easy. Relax your throat and find a little bit of a tip of your head like you're draining water out of your ear. If you'd like to add on, we're going to take that arm up to the ceiling and add a little coordination. With the fingers glued together, reach your arm along, tap your side body, and then lift it back up. Or maybe play with going overhead. Let's take it again. Arc back to your hips and lift it over. Let's do one more here. And lift up and over. From here, bring your arm back up to the ceiling. Bring it back to your chair. Slowly come up to sit. And let's set up for a little more side body work. We're going to do a side sit-up variation. It's one of my personal favorites to do on the chair. And then we're going to go into Mermaid. We're going to sit in what I call an action hero position. So your leg nearest the pedal is going to bend. You're going to bring that armpit area of your knee right up to the edge of the chair. I don't have a better name for it. I got to look up if there's a name for that. Or if you have a name for it, let me know below in the comments. You're gonna stretch your other leg long, and I call it an action hero position because it kind of looks like you're Spider-Man or something when you're hanging out in this pose. So we have nice length here. We're nice and situated on our chair. And same thing, stacking the ring of the hips, ribs, and crown of the head, one on top of the other. Let's do our side sit-ups. Your hands are gonna stack one on top of the other. You're gonna bring them behind the nape of your neck, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. You can even physically pull your neck a little longer to, continue the lengthening vibes. From here, we're gonna tip at the waist over towards the pedal. Keep that foot down on the floor and lift your ribs away from the floor as you tip over. Then come all the way back up and take your counter sit up to the other side. And then come up and over, close the ribs, you're sandwiched between two panes of glass, and come up and tip to the other side. One more time like that, and then we literally add a twist. I'm gonna say that a lot in this video. Sorry, not sorry. Now from here, you're gonna find a long diagonal line. So close the front of the ribs, feel a lot of reach through this long leg, reach through the back of your neck. We add our twist. Twist your ribs towards your pedal. Get a little longer to deepen your twist. And then come back through center. And twist, get longer. And come back through center. One more time like that, twist. Come back through center, hold. Maybe reach the arms long overhead. Can you get a little longer? Can you find a little bit more length? Hold for 3, 2, 1. Take that hand nearest the pedal, bring it down, and then tip at the waist over into your mermaid side bend. That was a fun transition. Slowly take your time, lift all the way back up. Send your arms around into your counter stretch. 2 more times like that. Keep the spine lifting. Space between the ribs and the hips, but softness in your sternum. So it's easy to kind of add tension in the chest when we're creating lift in the waist. Make sure you can still breathe freely. We never want to add tension. Slowly come all the way up. Final counter stretch. And then stack your spine up to tall. Before we move on, we're going to play with a little standing saw. We did a version of this in our first video, but now we're going to take it in a slightly different orientation. All right, so instead of facing the front of my pedal, I'm off to the side. So I'm going to set up so that my right leg, which is closest to the chair, is aligned with the pedal. I might have to make an adjustment once I forward fold over, but that's totally fine. So from here, we're going to take both arms up to the ceiling and bring your heels together, toes apart. How could I forget my Pilates stance? On your next exhale, you're going to forward fold. Bring your right hand to the pedal and then take your left arm up to the ceiling. From here, let's play with the little single arm press down. You're going to lift your abdominals up just like we did in our pull-up prep from the beginning of class. Deepen your abdominals as you drop your head and press the pedal down a little bit and lift back up. I'm going to scoot a little bit outside of the chair. That was dress rehearsal. Now it's showtime. Deepen your abs, press down and resist, bring it back up. Take that 2 more times. And lift. Last time. And lift up. Now from here, you're going to twist your rib cage to move the pedal. And then come back through center. Keep your hips square. Turn your ribs away from your pedal. And come back through center. 2 more times. And center. Last time. And center. Slowly take your time as you roll all the way up to tall. Bring your arms up to the ceiling and press them down by your side. Let's take it all again. Final side, final time. All right, All set up on this last side. Shoulder and wrist are stacked. Hips are stacked. Legs are zipped together and long and active away from us. Hand can come in front of the pedal onto the chair. Definitely behind the pedal. Teaching and talking is hard. I'm distracting you because we're just holding the side plank position. Feel actively lifting away from the chair. Feeling light off of your seat. Spine is nice and long. Shoulders are nice and set on your back. Option to stay here, or we add the challenge with the arm up to the ceiling. You reach the pinky towards your hip and then take it overhead. Trying not to shift in the body. Just thinking nice and long. We also get a little added shoulder mobility and coordination. A lot of our Pilates moves require a lot of coordination, but it's good for us. Last time here. Bring your arm up to the ceiling, slowly bring it back to the chair, and then slowly come up to sit, setting up for side sit-ups. So we assume the action hero position. Leg is nice and long on the floor. If you are a little shorter and you have a hard time bringing this foot to the floor, you can always prop your foot up on a yoga block or a book, or even a thick Pilates mat might give you just enough height so you can keep the foot down. But what I don't want you to do is try to do this with trying to stay on the ground at the same time. So find the props that support you in your practice. So from here, let's bring the hands behind the head and we'll go for our side sit-ups. Tipping at the waist towards the pedal, keeping that side nice and long, and lift up. And taking it over. And lift up. One more time like that. And then coming all the way to our long diagonal line. Lengthen as you twist towards the pedal and come back through center. And lengthen, twist, and come back through center. Last time, twist. Hold in your side line. Reach your arms long overhead. Hold for 4, and 3, and 2. Bring that arm down 1. Lift the ribs, mermaid. Woohoo. And then come all the way up, side bendaroo. It's not the scientific term. It's just my name for it. Come up and over, side bend. We love Mermaid. It's part side plank, part stretch, all at the same time. Final time here. Feel nice and long and stretched. Come up to sit, and let's do our standing push down and saw on the final side. All right, so setting it up, heels together, toes apart. Take a big inhale. Exhale, lift your arms up to the ceiling, and then take your forward fold. Think pull up. Lift your abs away as you forward fold. Hand comes to the pedal, other arm reaches up to the ceiling. 3 times you deepen the abdominals, press the pedal down. And then think that you're pulling the thighs and the pedal together as you lift up. That'll really fire on that lift of the waist. 2 more times. Try to keep those hips square. Last time. Now we add our twist. Twist your rib cage away from the chair and come back through center. So my shoulders are pretty set. I'm not pressing with the arm. I'm letting my rib cage determine how far the pedal goes down. 1 more time. Come center. Slowly come all the way up to tall. Bring your arms up to the ceiling. Press down. Draw your shoulders back. We're going to close out with some extension. So we're going to stay on one middle spring. I'm going to make another chair adjustment and we're going to set up for Swan. So we're going to lie down in a prone position to set up for Swan. You're going to slowly lower your torso to the seat of your chair. Take one hand and begin to press the pedal down. And then just like we did for the side body, you're gonna find a plank position atop your chair. Arms are gonna be nice and straight, shoulders over wrists. Open your legs the width of your chair today. So we wanna get a lot of length in the legs and a little bit more space in the lower back. Same thing as we did in side plank. Lift your abdominals away from the floor. We don't wanna sink. Actively push and press away. Now from here, abs lift, draw your pelvis towards the chair. As you lift your chest, pull the pedal underneath you a little bit. Shine your sternum through your shoulders and reach your legs long behind you. And then lengthen your abdominals to lengthen your spine down. So reach long to lower down. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift up. And slowly lower back down. Let's take that one more time. Lift up. Keep spiraling those triceps behind you. And slowly lower down. Now from here, we're gonna play with a push-up. We're gonna start with a hover and then build to push-ups. So from here, you're gonna lift your abdominals and lift the pedal up just to hover away from the floor. Now from here, you're gonna bend at the elbows, keeping them close to your side as you bend the pedal in, keeping your abdominals lifted, and then straighten back to your start position. So the elbows come out more in like an arrow shape and less like a capital letter T. You'll feel your back work a little differently. Last time, lowered the pedal down, take a moment, shake out the legs. Now from here, we go for a tricep push-up. This is the one where the elbows will stay closer to the rib cage. You're gonna lift your pedal up to a hover. Keep that lift of your abdominals, bend at the elbows, defy gravity, and press. And bend, and press. 3 more times. 2 more times. Last time. And lower down. Final thing we're gonna play with here. We're gonna play with taking one arm off and doing some single arm work, similar to what we did with pumping. You can always add on the layers to this as you progress. So just find what works for you today. We're gonna lift the pedal up to a hover and hold. You're gonna take your right arm out to the side like a T. Try to stay center on your chair and square in your shoulders. And then lower it back down. Don't change the height of the pedal. Switch to the other side. And bring it back down. 2 more times. Last time. Lower down, take a break. Final thing here, we'll try a little single arm push-up. Lift up to a hover and hold. Take that right arm away. The left arm pumps 3 times for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down right away, we go to the other side and go 3, 2, and 1. Bring both hands down, lower your chair down, shake it out. Let's take one final swan here to close out. Take a big inhale, big exhale, lift up. Make it your most dramatic swan yet. And then lengthen to lower down. To dismount, bring one hand to your seat. Slowly bring your feet to the floor and close your spring without hitting yourself in the face. And then take a little forward fold over your chair. Bend one knee and then the other. Nod your head yes, shake it no. Give yourself a little wiggle. You deserve it. And then slowly come all the way up to tall. Draw your shoulders back. And that was your little romp through some Wunda Chair. Great job. I hope you enjoyed this class. It's a little bit different from our last beginner class, but I think there's a lot of different variations in here that you can play with the more you start to get comfortable on the chair. So if you enjoyed this class, let me know in the comments below. I've got a lot of chair classes on the way, so no worries. So stay tuned and stay awesome, and see you in class soon. Bye.